responsibility to this rock to sort of turn around this beautiful nature isle into the best kept secret in the Western Hemisphere, the most beautiful country on the face of this earth. With us this morning, Daryl Bob. Good morning to you, the Bob,
Good
the
morning,
King
Wadix.
Bob. Wow, Bob.
Good morning. Good morning, King Wadix. And good morning to your listeners, Q95. It's always a comfortable place to be.
All right,
I just want to say Happy New Year to all. Happy New Year to Calypso lovers, music lovers, and listeners to radio station supporters of culture, supporters of Creole culture, or Anglophone culture, or Francophone culture. Happy New Year to you, and I hope we all can take our culture to another level in 2025. Wadix, it's always a pleasure. This time we're talking Calypso.
yes.
You know, the eliminations will begin on January 11th, and it's usually for some. I remember a lady told me, the only show I come to is the eliminations. I told her about why. I mean, she said, but that is it. That's the most fun show. So people come for the fun, the frolic, and in and between, obviously, there's a couple of serious tracks. Newcomers who drop their new songs. It's always good to come to the eliminations and follow the competition from the elimination level. I remember a few years ago, Trilogy, just about 2 years ago, Trilogy came in through eliminations and won the competition. He became King Trilogy. So the eliminations has a lot of value, and people should come out to the eliminations. That's what we're
And
pushing.
most important to some Calypsonians, it's their best opportunity to showcase what they have. They may never get a chance apart from possibly one of the tents,
Yeah.
but it's their best opportunity to showcase what they have and give the public
Yeah.
two verses, two choruses of the best of themselves. And I think it's a wonderful show. Tell us a little more about that show because we know it's scheduled for next weekend already, Bob. Next weekend already.
Yeah.
Where is it? I suspect it's a brand new venue. You're heading
Um,
to the forecourt, I think. I heard an ad.
we're going to the forecourt. We're going to the forecourt.
Okay, great.
Calypso is okay on the forecourt. Calypso really, as the competition matures,
Yeah.
we need more and more space. So then the finals becomes a bit cramped because the crowd, it's really the biggest show during our carnival season, most attended show. That's where the numbers are really, really, they're really significant. But for the eliminations, it's pretty comfortable enough. We have everything there. There all the amenities are there. Food and drinks are pretty accessible, and we expect to have another good one on the forecourt. We see we've been blessed with beautiful weather so far.
So far.
And we wanna ask God for more of that so that people can enjoy their culture, enjoy their calypso that they look forward to. But the show will be on the forecourt. I want to think that the entrance fee will start at $25. I this is subject to change, obviously, because I'm just giving you sort of an idea of what you may be able to spend for entering the venue. But I don't think it'll be anything far from that anyway. If it's anything, it's going to be less. And I don't think we have VIP for eliminations and all of that, so it may not go higher than that. But come out and support your calypso. Come out and support those you may never see throughout the rest of the competition, according to you, because for some guys that is their one moment, their 15 minutes of fame, which is a lot less. Guys only get a chance sometimes to spend 4 to 5 minutes on stage. So come and give them the support because these are people who really try and they make the numbers. The Calypsonians who are really at the top of the competition, so to speak, can't do the entire season alone. So we have to come out and support those who are really trying and only get to make it just about eliminations, some eliminations to quarters and so on. And they, some of them sharpen their craft and they build from there. So, it's happening again. And Calypso Sebagay no.
I love that. I love that.
I always try to tell people, it's the for now it's the only genre of music that carries a heavy weight in terms of our education, who we are, where we came from, and the culture of singing about a system is something that began on the slave plantation. That's all the slaves could do. They could only sing, and they sang in twangs. They sang in their language that the master could not understand. And that is where the idea of the concept of masking found itself in what we call today calypso. The name calypso came about in somewhere in the 50s, but it has always been prior to that, the culture of black people singing to drums, and sometimes using drums alone to communicate, which is something that came way back from Africa.
Mm-hmm.
And we must not forget where we're from. And calypso is that genre that really reminds us where we're from, how we became free. It's also another very important aspect of the whole thing. How we became free. We became free through that same communication of song, communication of song and sound and language, that we incorporated into song. And it's through that nice, neat communication among the slaves that they were able to strategize and make themselves free. And Calypso today carries that same strategy, that same concept. The whole culture is built on that, on development. And that is why I always try to remind Calypsonians, you are the friend of the politician, and remind the politicians that the Calypsonian is your friend. It's only the real and honest opposition that you have that really want you to do better. So they'll call you out. And that's just how life is. If nobody calls you out, then you're going to self-erupt.
Absolutely.
Am I saying too much, Alex?
No, no, no. I love how we started. We started with a good momentum,
Mhm.
and let's hope that when the president, observer, and then Joey Explosion Lloyd comes in, we can continue that conversation and lovely kind of dialogue as to Calypso itself.
Mhm.
Bob, so apart from that, how are registrations going on in terms of numbers? What are we looking like? Any major names making a comeback into the arena?
Well, I'll be honest with you.
Hmm.
I'll tell you. Um, the thing about registration is not something that happens the way we always want it to.
Hmm.
At the last minute, the last week, the last few days, the numbers just climb,
Climb.
boom. So it's not something that just from the time you announce it in December, everybody go to register. Some guys, they're always not sure. They want to wait till their song is finished down to the T and those kind of things. But at the last few days, during the last few days, we end up with like 60 something to 70 Calypsonians
Calypsonians.
registering, which makes a very, very long show because you have to give everybody opportunity. And the hard part of it is on the audience sometimes who have to stay so long to listen to all of them. And also the judges who have a very tough job to judge all of them.
I
Because
think the judges is the one I always feared for, mainly
Yeah.
because of you have a span
Mhm.
and you can only listen for a period of time. But I believe that well trained and well groomed and well organized, possibly you could even look at yeah, from your pool of judges have two sets, first set for the first half,
But
possibly.
that's a difficult thing. You can't really do that,
Mhm,
because you have to really, it's a competition. You're judging the first man
to
all
the
the way up to
last.
the last. And whoever, one person has to, well, when I say one person, but the same set of people have to do that. Because if you separate them, let's say four for the first half and four for the other half, they may see things very differently. And that first man could have been very, very good. But that
Mhm.
last four, so
Is it
it's just a tough
because
job on the judges.
is it because the criteria can be interpreted differently, or you don't have confidence in your judges? Because I think
N-
enough the judges themselves have to sit and possibly have just a 5-10 minute
Yes,
break, and then
yes, and we have to remember that they are humans, and there's much we can do. People have to, sometimes because of the numbers that we have, some very good material tend to fall. The sad
which
part,
always
yeah,
happens.
the
Which
sad
always
part is is
happens.
is is when you have very good material falling and against mediocre material going through. That is where you can see, okay, probably they were tired at some point.
Mhm.
But the same set of judges sadly have to judge the whole competition of the eliminations that is. So guys just have to go out there and understand how it works, the dynamics of it, the pros and the cons of it. It's just unfortunate that with so many people, a lot of good songs have to
Yeah.
fall.
Mhm.
And I hope the public understands that as well, because it's not something that is usually, it's not always deliberate. It's not the judges actually doing any mischief. It's just the way it is. The numbers are dealing, because we only need, out of the eliminations, sadly, we only need 12.
Yes.
So imagine 70 guys competing to only choose 12. Although that's 70, I'm sure you're going to have a good 30.
Possibly.
But we only need 12. So it's just the way the system
The
works.
best 12.
The only way to deal with that, and it's something that we have been discussing for the past few years, and then sponsorship and all those things come into play, is separating the competition into two, where you have one night, you have probably 30 guys,
Okay.
and then the other night 30 guys.
With the
So
same
it
judges.
yeah, it really, what it really is just giving everybody a day break, you know. But it can work that way.
Well, I think you should look at different ways to bring the art form to the public so that they can accept it even better, and the best material out of the whatever number moves on.
Yeah.
What is the state of Calypso, Bob, in 2025? We just had the season 2024. How was 2024 for you? And when you look at Calypso with so many diversions, so many things happening around the bouillon music, taking up with a venom, and it's around the same carnival period. What is the state of Calypso presently?
Calypso is doing very well, you know. We're still the most attended show during the carnival season. It's still the biggest show. There's no other show, no other fete can compare with the our turnout. It's still the biggest show. We have our challenges, obviously. We would like to give people a larger venue
Mm-hmm.
so that they can enjoy the show. Our audience is growing in age, and most of the people, especially women, the larger part of our market is women. They can't stand for 4 to 5 hours because women get swollen feet and those kind of things. Women over the years put on a little weight and so on. And what we really would like to do is to give them sitting, as much sitting as possible, and to sort of prepare a VIP that they can benefit from. And because of the constraints of the venue, we can't really do that. So you find a lot of people choose to stay home. And with the advent of streaming, some people find it comfortable for them to stay home and watch the show on their TV or their computers and stuff, or even on their phones in some cases. So it's not as if Calypso is losing its anything. Calypso has not lost. Calypso has actually grown, but it's just that our audience now that has grown in age physically, people cannot come out and expend that kind of energy to stay out all night. And with the venue constraint, I will say again, it limits our ability to provide them with more, that level of comfort that they deserve.
Um, Producer, can we get Observer involved in the camera? We want him to be part of the conversation as we welcome the president of the Dominica Calypso Association. So, Bob, you may have to move across closer to me, and then I want everyone to actually get a view of the president. He's the reigning president and also a king. One who has done so much for Calypso in Dominica. Welcome, Happy New Year, King Observer.
Yes, man, Wadix, and happy new year to you and to all the Calypso fans, here and abroad.
We were just discussing, myself and Daryl, Bob, as to the state of the Calypso art form. By the way, callers, just around 11:50 or so, we'll open the line, so we'll give you an opportunity to ask the president and Bob, and hopefully Joey, Explosion Lloyd, any question in terms of Calypso. Yes, Bob was just relating that the art form has been growing, in his opinion, and the population, the Calypso population, primarily women, are aging, and they may not be able to stand as long as they used to. After a few hours, they get swollen feet and that sort of thing. But what's your overall impression?
But just to help Observer,
Mhm.
to close the point I was making,
Mhm.
our audience have actually even grown.
Mhm.
And I mentioned streaming. Our streaming audience is really, it's crazy now. We're trying to figure out how do we get the right technology to accommodate so many people. So it has actually grown. It's just a different time and different things happening. But what
the
we
live
see,
audience, the live
what we
audience.
see is the live audience, and we're wondering why a lot of people choose to stay home and Calypso crowd has dwindled and so, but not really. We just eventually, I think, with development, national development, we will have a larger venue to accommodate as many people comfortably, where people can come and sit and actually watch the show. And it's pretty easy. I still am asking the question, and I will leave the rest for the president to take over. We don't understand why Calypso can't be on the field.
On the major,
Right, inside the stadium.
We will get to that because I want Observer to before.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes, welcome,
ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Q95, and guess who's in control? Wadix. I introduced the president of the Dominican Calypso Association, Nurse Observer.
Respect.
Doctor.
Happy New
Wadix,
Year.
my boy.
Maximum
Yeah, man.
respect.
It was a pleasure, man, to be here. Yeah, well, Wadix, to the point that you're making, like anything else, Calypso is something that has been in existence for decades, and like everything else, it will go through transitions, it will go through challenges. I think now Calypso has become a genre of music that is actually facing the greatest challenge ever. You understand? So like everything else, is a transition, and everything goes through it highs and it lows and it challenges. There were times when calypso had no challenges, absolutely no challenges. Now calypso have many challenges. The important thing is that we as a nation, and you see, when I talk about calypso, I don't like to single out the Calypso Association, because Calypso is not the Calypso Association business. It is the Dominican Society business. A matter of fact, it's the Caribbean. A matter of fact, it is the Black people business. Because remember, once you all you have to do is conceptualize what Calypso does. It is the only genre of music that actually challenges the day-to-day life of people, the things that affects people. That is the only genre of music that actually do that on a consistent basis. So Calypso is not the Calypso Association thing. It is not the Calypsonian things. The Calypsonians are just a chosen few of some of the bravest individuals. And let me make that very clear. Some of the bravest individuals in a society. We go up against the elites of the society, the lawyers, the doctors, the presidents, the prime ministers, the politicians, the whoever, the groundsman, the sanitary engineers, the rapists, the child abusers, the women. We go up against every single aspect of the society. We are brave soldiers, and we're doing it, putting ourselves on the line. A lot of Calypsonians have lost opportunities in their life to move up in life personally because they are Calypsonians.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is that a lot of times when you fight in the system, you have to understand most times the system is what determines what individuals of the country is going to whether they will flourish or not flourish.
Are you saying that some Calypsonians have been victimized by the system?
Absolutely.
Victimized
because of their topics or chosen topics?
Yes, victimized, and sometimes not victimized blatantly, but there are times that persons just get a kind of, what I would say, not want to give you opportunity to make you flourish. Some persons, they don't victimize you, but they just don't like you because they don't like the job that you do. You understand? Simply, they have not gone into any areas where they can say, well, I did not give him a job or give his child a job or whatever, but they just don't like you, so they will not create new opportunities for you. So, but that has not deterred we as Calypsonians, because we know what we're doing is the right thing. We know that without Calypso, a lot of this, the issues of society would have been swept under the carpet and nothing would have been done about it. Calypso have made a lot of changes. Calypso have allowed rapists to become better citizens, politicians who corrupt to become better citizens. You understand? So Calypso has taken people who are sanitary engineers and make them become more educated, because Calypso has showed them a way of how they can develop themselves. Because Calypso is not only about crashing down, but Calypso is also about building up and lifting up. So if you look at Calypso, we have Calypsos for all type of things. If you want a Calypso to just uplift you spiritually, educationally, or otherwise, Calypso is there to do that. If you want a Calypso to bash a situation, or to cry down a situation, or to challenge a situation, Calypso is there for that. So I say all this to say that Calypso is the society thing. And the Dominican public, we have been calling on them year upon year, decade upon decade, to own the Calypso genre of music and try our best not to ever make that mistake and make Calypso lose the relevance that it has. It will not, but we still have to continue to put it in the minds of people, because conditioning of persons is important, and conditioning them in the right way, stimulating them in the right way to make them know the importance and the significance of Calypso. You hear in the passion I'm talking about that with what
I love that. I was about to really compliment you on the passion.
Yes.
So that's why I'm just allowing you to.
Because I understand let me tell you, I've been a calypsonian from since I've been a calypso from since I born, because I think I was born to be a calypsonian. But I've been in calypso business in the public from since 1984. I've grown up all my life in calypso, so I understand the nature
So
of it, the
1984,
importance of it.
looking about a 40
Yeah.
year, a 40
Yes,
years
I
span.
started in school. I started very, very early in Calypso, very, very early in school. I was the first student to represent the Goodwill Junior High School in Calypso in an official capacity of Calypso juniors. You understand? So I've been there long enough to understand. And even before I have been in the competition itself, I've been following Calypso. I've been seeing what Calypso is to our nation. Just think of Calypso not there. Just think of it. Try to imagine it. You will not be able to imagine it because Calypso is not going to not be there. But just for like splitting hairs, just think of it.
Sometimes I kind of wonder whether Calypso would not be there, because Bob said something earlier in terms of the revenue streams that you have added in terms of the streaming, which kind of supports the live deficiency. We know the live audience has been dwindling mainly because of their aging, but then you have innovated into the live streaming, which is kind of, cushioning um, the effect and bringing in the revenue for another stream. What are some of the other challenges Calypso is now faced?
Okay,
The art
Calypso.
form.
Okay, one of the well, we have several challenges. One of them is the fact that other major activities have been encroaching on the times that Calypso would normally get its fair share of, of the time. So you find there are events that are on the same night. And don't ever remove the concept that, like, some people that see, for example, some of the events, they are not the Calypso crowd. I don't talk like that. This to me is not realistic, and I don't speak like that. There's no such thing about that is not that crowd and that is not that crowd. Once you like something, you're going to follow it. Somebody sent a WhatsApp about WhatsApp Michelle song, the new song
Yeah.
that Michelle and them out there.
Yeah.
And the person wrote, I am not a Booyah fan. I am not into Booyah music, but I just love that. The lyrics of that just catch me, and I just have to share it. That is what music does. That's what Calypso does. It is no body thing. It is not so. It is not no sector of society thing. It is something that once it capture your imagination, capture your attention, it capture your taste, you will go and support it. So when people saying that the events that are on Calypso Association, Calypso
Finals
same
night.
time and them kind of things will not affect Calypso because it is not the crowd that going there. That's nothing. The persons, if they don't have three, four choices and they have only one choice, that is very good. Yeah. You see, when we just talk about Calypso and we asking people to come to Calypso over other events, but when you come to Calypso finals or you come to a Calypso event, you are getting a good product, you are getting a good event. So we provide you with a good event, and if you don't have two, three, four choices, you will come to the event. So this is a challenge. No, we're not saying in an open market we don't want people to do as they please, because we don't own that right.
Or what would you prefer?
But
What would you
I would prefer persons consider Calypso and the significance of Calypso, and if they're doing an event, do it in a way that does not significantly, and the operative word there is significantly affect. So for example, if you want to have an event, you can have it at a time where it gives even patrons enough time
To attend both
to
events.
attend both events. Now
You share the same, Bob?
yeah,
Yeah.
you understand?
Yeah, obviously, because the thing, my position on that is that we are such a small economy. Our population is so small. It increases by a small percentage when our visitors come in, and but it's not significant enough for us to try to have events one on top of the other. I believe in extending the calypso season, not the calypso, but the carnival season to accommodate all of that. Things could start earlier. I think calypso itself, the carnival season itself opens too late. So if we have more time, then events can exist. Everybody can, because I would like to go to some of those events that I'm hearing about.
Exactly. I
All
myself
those
too.
rides and those wine
I
and those
myself
soca,
too.
I would like to go to them,
To
but
experience
they
it.
are depriving me of coming to their events because everybody want to put one on top of the other. And we have been expressing that concern for a while. We have been putting reasonable arguments on the table in terms of our economy. Why don't we try to coexist? Why don't we try to support each other? We should be advertising one of those events at our show. We cannot do that. Those events are existing at the same time with us.
Yep,
They happen at the
exactly.
same time. So it's really the only thing we can sit on our own when we're doing our own housekeeping is to figure out, boy, these things are happening on purpose, man. And then we leave it to the public. And then we focus on our event again and try to make it as good as possible. But we do not want to be competing with anyone. We want to support people. We want to be able to even sell their tickets at our event. That's impossible. So the powers that be, I don't understand. We've never really had a discussion about that has been meaningful or anything. I just figure it's something as if it looks like, because of the job of the calypsonian, as Observer was saying earlier, people take offense to it, and this is the way that they figure they can fight back.
Have you as an executive and association approached, let's say, this Economic Authority,
yes.
DDA,
Oh yes.
We DFC,
Yeah.
about, because they are basically managing the calendar of activities throughout the carnival season.
We have written,
and what are the responses?
we've not really had any
Because they actually advertise and promote some of these major events.
and even that we have to do this whole thing all over again because management has changed. Mr. Piper is no longer there. He was the one we've been communicating about this for a long time. My last conversation with him was about that in the park when we were looking at the venue and stuff and trying to figure out how do we work things out, how do we coexist and make things work together. We would like to support these other events. We are a big entity in entertainment.
What about approaching the organizers of other events? Have you felt that you need DFC to kind of manage that?
Well, you remember a few years ago we sat with these folks who have this stuff in Newton.
CC,
right.
Yeah.
We had a meeting with them and they were they were not like rudely aggressive, but they are very aggressive in their approach to their business and so on. And it's like whoever is in the way just have to step out.
What about the dynamics of some people may feel like, for instance, lots of our people coming and returning home may have different tastes, and they may want to explore as much activities as possible.
But they're the ones preventing that from happening, because how many events can one person go to in one night? You understand? Especially when the weather is not too good and all those other things. So they're the ones preventing that from happening, and that's what we want to see.
So rightly, the association is saying there should be no problem with the other activities, but have it in a way that both can coexist.
Of
course. Let's say a time limit.
Yes.
The other activities start from afternoon.
We want to be able, for example, to say Wadix is having an event. Wadix, I want 9 tickets for my executive as a president. How much people you have on your team? For my Calypso finals, look your quota of tickets. So after your events, Wadix, make sure you come to my event. Come and
so
see
then most likely they themselves would promote right after your event.
Right.
You can come to
we will promote
Calypso,
their event. We promote their event. So at the end of the day, and Wadix, let me tell you something. By doing that, there's no way anybody can lose. Everybody's going to benefit, because if I can encourage your people to come to my event, and you aggressively can do the same, at the end of the day, everybody must benefit.
Okay, what are the challenges, Bob, apart from that? Because the way forward, I would see and suggest is have a very serious conversation with DFC, DDA, and get the various parties, because the calendar is already out. So you actually know what activities they're going to be, and see how you can, at least time, so everybody can eat, and the Calypso art form can continue, and the other folks can still have the activity. So people can have a diverse repertoire of what that Dominica has to offer.
Well, the most important thing I want to say, and I will stay on that point, is that there's the communication between us and that government department needs to improve. And the proof is in the pudding. If you look at the calendar right now, you will see that the only correct date is the finals.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, how would that happen? I mean, what is the miscommunication? Normally,
I don't know. I am
don't they
certain
approach the association for the dates
in
of the
their defense,
events?
we sent information to them. They wrote to us and we
Mhm.
sent information to them
Mhm.
via the treasurer Narin.
Yeah.
And then the calendar right now has how many misleading dates. So
Wow.
we still we still
No,
trying
this
to
is
work it
this is
out.
this is this is this is serious. I believe this is very serious because if the organization responsible for promoting Carnival
Nationally.
nationally is putting a calendar of activities together, I think you should have the dates right.
But another thing I want to just put in a breaker there, this conversation we're having on Creole Heartbeat with Wadix right now, my people, is not one of any. We're not in any way peeved. We are still confused and we'll continue to work and we are making ourselves available for conversation with the powers that be, with the folks, and we're trying to improve that relationship as best as we can because it's just messing up things right now. You have wrong dates because we do not have a very good relationship. We cannot communicate. You cannot send the calendar to us and say, hey guys, this is the calendar, it's going to come out on Tuesday, is everything okay with it? And we'd respond and say, no, you have two wrong dates there, you have three wrong dates. You understand? There is no communication, Wadix. And what we want, we're telling the public right now, we are not upset and their shows are doing so well. Our finals is fantastic. Our finals is like an international show. We are doing well. Our audience has increased, but maybe not the physical audience because we are constrained in a small venue, obviously. But we have thousands of people watching our show. The streamers do not have enough bandwidth to sustain. So we have grown. We know we have grown, but we are concentrating on the physical space. Yes. So a lot of people in Dominica will stay home to watch instead of coming. And that will improve as time goes by because Dominica will develop, obviously. But we are saying that we want to improve our relationship with them. We are opening up ourselves. We have written many letters. And I want to comment, I want to tell you that all what Observer has said, Observer is speaking from his heart and further down his heart, even so, right? He's been very honest with you. So am I. So we write many
So
letters.
do you feel, Bob, because of what Calypso represents, and a lot of times it is hard driving political commentary? I mean, that is what it's about.
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah.
cannot run from the fact that
can,
it is
you
some of
can,
the lyrical content is hard driving, and it's a record of some of the issues which actually
take place over the year.
were documented throughout the year.
Yeah.
And some of the writers really hit hard to really send a message home that the masses are feeling a particular way. Do you feel that as a result of that, the association is discriminated? We get in the second aspect of the discrimination, we are the individual, but then do you feel a level of discrimination that
Yes.
you are not taken in good spirits as you try to bring forth the message?
Yes, Mr. Charles, I
Yes,
feel that way.
Wadix, and we
Yeah.
can say that,
And here,
and just check, for example, the Creole Festival.
but that was the next thing I was going to
Just
say.
check the Creole Festival.
What happened to the Creole
Why
Festival?
on earth that Calypso Association should not have a contingent of Calypsonians on the World Creole Festival? And I'm talking about every single year. You know why?
Why?
Because every single year there are new songs, there are new calypsos, and there are also new calypsonians coming in.
When I was the band selection
Well, I know
chairman,
I know Wadix, you was a champion there.
when I was the band selection chairman, I insisted that Calypso be part of the festival. Why? Because I believe in the history connection, historic, sorry, connection where Calypso, part of Calypso, and Calypso, let's say, is the foundation of the World Creole Music Festival. So you cannot leave out Calypso. It has that historical relevance. And if you're promoting offspring of the same Calypso, why not go back to the roots and even have, the drumming, the before even the Calypso, and you want to have the Kalinago, why not have a full traditional flow of it, the historical value of the best that Dominica has to offer to the world? And I want to repeat that, the very best music that Dominica offers to the world, and Calypso is part of the very best. When you have someone who actually won the crown 10 times, 10 times excel in 20 years, in 2 decades, won the crown 10 times, and cannot make at least 5 minutes, one song when you have almost three hits, 24 hours of music and not one 5 minutes put aside for calypso, something has to be
Something is
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah.
Something is
So I
wrong.
ensured while I was there to make sure that calypso was always part of it, and not only before I came, calypso used to be part of it, but people singing playback. I made sure that there was either Swinging Stars or Fanatic then with Cornell,
Yeah.
but
Or,
Calypso
yeah. Or
was
serenade.
always,
At
or
one time, there was a
Serenade
serenade. Yeah.
was always part. I am no longer part of the chairman or no longer part of nothing to do with DFC and the festival. I have been hearing all your cry, but also I believe that more should have been done by the executive to allow the people to gather. I think you're waiting for the public to cry, and then I
No.
think
No,
because
what is
I've not heard
you see,
you.
what is we
I've not heard the executive.
you see what is we there's a concept in the minds of persons, right? That
By the way, we can now open the lines for anyone who wish to make a contribution. I'm going to give you guys the opportunity, mainly because the eliminations is next week Saturday, to come back here next week Friday again.
yeah, man.
By
Yeah,
that
man.
time, you should have at least
The
the
list-
majority of the list
yeah,
that we
yeah,
can
yeah.
expect.
But it will be closed by then.
Right. It
It
will be
yeah,
closed by
it will be
then.
closed by then.
So then we can continue the conversation.
Yeah, man.
But you was going to,
Yeah,
you're
man.
going to say something
Yeah,
because I see
I-
the all lines are already lit up.
Yeah, the point I was going to make is that we as an executive, we're doing everything. We're doing everything. We're writing.
We
we're
wrote to
writing.
DFC
Yes,
Many
man.
letters.
requesting
we
to be
could
part
request.
of the festival. And
What-
what are the responses?
It's like what sometimes we don't
No
get
response.
What
Yeah.
is?
Sometimes you don't get it right.
No,
Let's take our first call.
No, the other thing is that
Let's take our first call. Here's all your thought. Good morning, Creole Heartbeat. We have the Calypso Association, Daryl Bob, and Observer in the building. Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning to you, Wadik,
Good morning.
and good morning to Bob and Observer.
Bless
good
him.
morning.
Since we speak in Calypso, so I'm going to refer to you all as Calypsonians, not by your name,
Yes.
although
yeah.
Bob is Calypso Bob.
The
The
King Bob.
Calypsonian here this morning have, hit the nail on the head. Both of them, you were right on point. But Observer, you were really, really, really good. I've been a lover of Calypso for a long, long time. I've been following Calypso and been attending elimination. Somebody said the elimination is the humorous part and what have you. From the time of Swing Stars when Harry Roye was on bass, I can remember who was the lead guitarist, just two of them. And then you ask Bob, Observer, as the status of Calypso in Dominica, where the Calypso has improved and whatever, I want to tell you that Dominica Calypso has improved. Lips and Bongs have attended Calypso competition in Trinidad. I live in St. Kitts for 16 years. I never miss a Calypso show in St. Kitts from elimination to finals. I listen to Nevis Calypso, and I tell you, Antigua too. Right now, we are way up there with Trinidad. I think last year and the year before, we left Antigua behind. And Bob, his fame was venue. Bob, I can tell you, I have in my mind a perfect venue. But I'm not going to tell you all where. But what the people have to do is vote out that party, that government. And I am going to tell my party, I am in management of the United Workers' Party, about that venue.
Can I
permanent venue.
Bob
I
is
ask you?
Bob
Can
is
I ask
asking
you
you a
to
question. Bob
make-
is asking you a question.
Can I ask you to make contact with us immediately after the show?
You can give out
Okay.
your number. You can give out your number so you can have a discussion off radio.
All right.
Okay, you'll give the numbers after I hung up. But if you just take the wins, you just take away the wins.
Call this number. Call this number.
Okay, he's going to give you the number now.
I was about saying something very, very important.
Go ahead.
But anyway, just before I hung up, as both Bob and Observer said, the Calypsonians are being victimized because of, as Observer said, Calypso is everything. They affect every facet of society. So they are being victimized. Some of the shows that are being staged, it is deliberate. It is deliberate so that the people, the Calypso Association will not get the crowd they want to get. They really want to get. Anyway, I wish you all the best. and we have a successful calypso season.
God bless
Yeah,
you.
thanks, man.
Quite a bit of
Check us, yeah?
quite a bit of points, and let's hope that you can connect right after with the Observer and Bob. More calls for Observer and Bob. This is Creole Heartbeat. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning, morning. Happy New Year.
All you know, I'm a calypso fan and calypso lover.
Yeah, man. We know
Every
that.
Bob know that.
Mhm.
Um,
Observer.
Observer.
Wellness know that.
Uh,
The
in
observer.
particular, a mass camper.
The second observer. I'm a mass camper. Not today, not yesterday. It's a long time. And you know what hurt me the most? It was last year, year before last, when we had our mass camp at, what they call it, that place up there by Crazy Tea place up there in that area, that little road going up there.
Yes, yes,
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
I
And there
recall.
was an event the same night. Some reggae shit going on there.
Yeah.
It really bothered me to see that reggae taking over calypso in Dominica. You think that could ever happen in Jamaica?
During carnival time.
During carnival time. You think that could ever happen in Jamaica? That would never happen for a reggae festival to be taking place there, or something to do with reggae and calypso overpowering it. No, that would never happen. So in Dominica, we will stand up and take those years. But social commentary must stay in calypso. For us,
Yes.
that is calypso.
That's what it's
You
about.
can't have calypso singing glory hallelujah. You have to sing the events of the day.
Yeah.
Like the calendar events of the day, we have to put it in calypso.
Yeah.
And that has to happen. Another thing I have there, Bob, and Observer, all you have to put all your foot down and demand that St. Lucia have in their stadium when they have their calypso. Trinidad having how many stadiums to have their calypso? Grenada is the same thing. They have been full
Antigua.
advantage to their stadium.
Antigua recreation grounds.
All over the place. Why the hell in Dominica we have to be squeezing like sardine in the damn forecourt? We have to put that shit down. And all you should put all your foot down and demand that all you should get the same privilege. World Korean Festival get it. Even a gospel man that come down there, they're taking out spirit on people. He has the full advantage to the damn stadium. Why the hell you have it?
But what if
We have to demand that it happens to you. That's how put all
Thank
your foot
you.
down and we'll be solidly behind all you. Bye bye.
but what
Thank
if
you very much, caller. Yeah.
what if I'll tell you something here that I learned
Take the notes now, Observer.
no,
Let's
no,
take
no,
the notes.
no, all the notes are in my head.
We're
All
just
the notes
taking
are in
notes.
my
Let's just
brain.
take the calls one time,
Yeah.
man. Let's just take the calls
Oh.
because I want the feedbacks
Okay.
so that we can maximize on our hour. Good morning to you, Creole Heartbeat. Just take down the notes. Good morning, Creole Heartbeat. Good morning. Hello,
Good morning.
bonjour. Yes, good morning.
Bonjour. Oh, that baby's a calypso now.
Yes, that's a calypso.
Hello.
Yes, good morning. This is Q95 FM, Creole Heartbeat. Observer and Bob in the building. Okay, call us back. I suspect your baby is singing a lovely social commentary. You can get back to her, but let's take another call for Observer and Bob on Creole Heartbeat. Good morning.
Hello, Happy New Year. Good morning.
Happy New Year to you, my
Happy
dear.
New Year to you. Happy New Year to you.
Blessings.
I myself am a lover of calypso,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm a senior citizen now, so I myself I cannot stand up
Mm-hmm.
like how I used to stand before.
We
That's
understand,
why I
yeah.
don't come to the park.
Mm-hmm.
So we really need the court for the calypso. I don't see why you all cannot get the court. You understand what I'm saying?
The stadium, the
Yes,
stadium,
stadium.
the
Stadium,
front
yes.
part of it, yeah.
The stadium is for Dominicans. We have in our show. And the Calypso Association, all you must put all your foot down. Maybe all you too soft. Talk. And
Well-
again, we just had with a new year, Wadi? Everybody talking about love, 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 joy, joy. It's a new year we are in right now. Things cannot be business as usual. Put on all your foot and demand for the stadium, okay? And another thing, calypso. Calypso, if you singing about the issues, you know. Why would people hate you or don't like you or what because you're singing about the issues?
yes.
You're not singing on people, you know, on their personal life.
Yeah.
You're singing on issues. Why people don't like to hear the truth? I myself have a problem with that. You understand? We have two sides. You can either be on the Lord's side or the other side, good or evil. You understand? So if
Right.
you're not supporting the truth, what you supporting? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, those things have to stop. The
Right.
Lord gives people their voices. The people who write the tunes are also good in that. They write their thing. You're not cursing, you're not cursing anybody. So those things they have to stop. As a nation, that thing that hurting me, these things have to stop. All of us are Dominicans. Let this show go on. Let things go on. People together love everything. So I'm just saying, you see these things there. These things there have to stop. You cannot come and sing a calypso and sing love song. That is for another venue. Love, love, love. That's for something
Valentine.
else.
That's what Valentine's Day.
Yes, you understand what I'm saying? So please, try your best to
Yeah.
get that stadium. And if nobody not involved in your thing, that is a no. That shouldn't happen at all. They can be victimizing some people and other people go, no, 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 no. Try to fix that. And whatever they tell you, all you come out and tell the public, keep ringing it, ringing it. Write them again. It's a new executive or a new CEO. Write again, please. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
guys, that's why I say to take down the notes because the calls are fast and furious. Okay, Shan, let's just take another caller again. More calls are coming in for Daryl, Bob, and Joey. Explosion Lloyd just joined us. Good morning to you, Creole Handbit.
Good morning,
Sakay Barada. What's up? Happy New Year.
Good morning to my King Bob. Good morning to
Morning.
my observer.
Yeah, man.
And
Joey Lloyd and
Explosion
Steve
is right here
Paul.
also. Yeah.
Morning.
Morning.
I ready. I'm ready, Master ready.
Yeah, man.
I love that. I love that
Yeah,
energy.
man.
Ready.
All
Lord,
right.
they know already. I just be right at the front. I love my calypso. That's my thing.
Yeah, man.
And what Blue said there is real true.
Mhm.
Let's put on our foot. We will need this stadium. Let everybody come and enjoy the calypso, man. This thing.
Cool.
It's on the
Okay.
calendar,
The-
Calendar,
Boy,
Shelly make.
It's on the calendar. Yes, it's on the calendar, Shelly Big.
yeah.
Thank you very much, caller. Happy New
So
Year.
you have a blessed day. Love you all.
Yeah,
Okay,
man.
love you too, my
Love you
dear.
too,
Let's
love
go,
you
Sean. More calls coming for Daryl Bob. Will introduce Joey Explosion in a while. More calls coming for Explosion, Daryl Bob, and Observer. Good morning to you, Creole Handbit.
Yes, morning.
Good,
Morning, what is
good morning. Happy New Year to you, sir.
Yeah, man. Happy New
same
Year
to
to you.
you, and happy new year to King Observer, King Bob, and Joey Lloyd who speak with you, and of
Yes.
course to your listeners at home and abroad. Let me say, let me congratulate these gentlemen because they are lovers of calypso, lovers of entertainment to others, and people may see it as you go and sing, but you have a God-given talent. You don't keep it to yourself. You make it available to others to be entertained, to enjoy themselves, and that must be applauded and appreciated. Calypso in Dominica is still relevant, very much relevant, and it must go a long way. We all should support it because Calypso really look at the bubbles of society and say things that one should take note of. I remember a prime minister, I don't recall her name, but she has the one I'm talking about.
One her.
You call
We
on her
had
already, right?
one her.
What
We
I
had
say,
a
how you know
prime
what I'm talking about.
minister, one female
I
prime
remember,
minister.
I can call another lady named Anna Sentinel who is still around.
Uh-huh.
Told her once, Michelle, it's about you singing,
Mm.
And DBS explained that full glass, Michelle said,
No,
no, no, no,
but
no.
what
Leave it
about
alone.
Patrick John writing
We
for
have Patrick as
for
well, and
Spider?
Patrick
And
is right
writing
himself.
Writing for Spider,
What is
dear
it?
about
He
his own
writes
self, dear
Calypso, yes.
John.
So this prime
Li-
minister,
listen to the verse, listen to the punchline. Dear John, I see corruption,
right,
and he
right.
wrote the
So,
sound for Spider.
they wrote Calypso, and when Anna told her, it's about you singing with Michelle, and DBS explained that full glass, she said, no, when they cannot tell you what they have to say to you, they put it in songs, so you must pay attention.
Yeah,
And you see this prime minister in the Windsor Park at the
yeah,
time. It wasn't Windsor Park Stadium, it was Windsor Park
yeah.
at the time, sitting there enjoying. I remember once I was there, and we didn't have all the nice glamour we have now. It's a few chairs and a few barricades. Just around the stage, you sit down there and people
Yeah.
are talking. You're watching them, they see you in the turn, and you're enjoying yourself. So Calypso should have that freedom and why the Calypsonians to express themselves without hate, without any victimization or thing like that.
One of the other things I think, though, that is taking a big blow, a big hit in Dominica is the entertainment industry. And a country without entertainment is a problem. And I will tell you something, we have a lot of entertainers, a lot of music. I have traveled extensively and I've seen other countries. Cannot compare where we are in terms of entertainment. But you see, in terms of the patronizing those activities, is a problem. People must have to patronize because when you organize something, you need the patrons to come so you can cover the cost of what you've
Yes,
organized.
yes. Production.
So you can do it again.
Artists themselves require
To be
some
encouraged to do
support.
it again.
You can be
Right,
sustainable.
right. So even the artists themselves require some support because people feel that you must come and sing for free. But I think your talent must give you some income that you can survive on and support, or you could add to whatever other incomes you have to make your life better. So I want to appeal to Dominicans here to come out to those events in your numbers. I know people support the Calypso finals, semi-finals, but let's make every activity of Calypso this year big. The 10th, the quarterfinals, even the eliminations. Let's make it big so you can encourage the organizers to go further and to build that part of our entertainment industry because entertainment is key. You know, just to say quickly if I end, I went after the interviews, I went to Rose and see what was happening. And it was a ghost town. Usually you have all of these night dances and so on after Christmas or Christmas time, New Year, so you enjoy yourself into the New Year, and we did not have that. So I went to appeal, let us rebuild that and make it a prosperous and successful this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Blessed.
much. Let's just hold the calls for a while, producer, and welcome the explosion.
Is the public relation officer?
Who is the new public relations officer,
of the Calypso Association?
which means that you gave Emmanuel Salamat a red card.
Sometimes you can take the red card for yourself. You can actually go and take it.
He took it for himself. But welcome, Joey. Welcome, the explosion. All of things. Happy New Year.
I'm good. Happy New Year to you, to Wadix. Happy New Year to the team here, and
DJ
to
Shan.
all the listening, DJ Shan, of course, and all our listeners out there.
You have been following the discussion as to what's taking place. Lots of people are in need of a venue where the aging Calypso public can sit and relax and enjoy good Calypso. There are lots of talk about the discrimination that Calypso is receiving. Why can't we have Calypso at the World Creole Music Festival when it virtually dominates? And it is the biggest show, biggest Dominican, and think about it, all Dominican, 100% Dominican. Most of the other shows, we have some foreign act, and it really hurts when you have IC Calypso show as a national show, maybe not organized by DFCDDA, but it's a national event based on what Calypso has meant to us throughout the year. And there should be some collaboration that it can continue to exist because the historical value is so important to us as a people. What are your own sentiments? And we can go to Observer and Bob to kind of comment on some of the callers.
I totally agree with that, Wadix. We really, really need the support because the public loves Calypso. It's something you can't keep away. In fact, before I go into a case in point, even Bouillon hasn't left Calypso alone. You listen to Shelley's number.
No,
right?
I'm
just showing you. I'm just showing you that in terms of the art form.
I just want to bring in the booth.
Yeah.
When Hunter sang Carried Back and Cornell was able to fuse Bouillon with the Calypso. When Brick sang Workers, so there's quite a bit of a Bouillon flavor into the Calypso. Bob used to be one of the most notorious Bouillon artists, sings Calypso. A lot of Dice and second songs have a Bouillon. So there's a lovely connection. And if you listen to how Shelley writes a song, he sings Calypso in Bouillon. Lots of the times, the lyrical content.
Remember, Shelley's a Calypso.
It's a Calypso. So the relationship.
Four-time undisputed junior monarch.
Yes, but then so the relationship is quickly knitted. But then I must put that on record before we leave. I'll be inviting you guys again next week. Bouillon lately have been hitting. From the nasty to go down. What is it now? Go Pueblo Love. What is Bouillon Love? What is it? Hitting and millions of views now. Now the bouillon artists have been releasing throughout the year. If you notice, throughout the year, Calypso just normally do the thing for Carnival. They have been relevant throughout the year and already hitting Shelly released. Why are the Calypsonians still waiting for quarter and semi and all those kind of finals to release? I have over 1,000. I keep saying that we know when it's Carnival. Let the songs go, my brother, so that the Calypso appetite can build. You understand? I want tomorrow, when I go on the radio tomorrow on the shift I do to play Calypso. I don't want to be playing Calypsos of yesteryear. I want to be playing new Calypsos when I have 1,000, 1,000 plus, and Chad may have the same amount of Trinidad Calypso. We have Bouillon to play, which lasting and hitting. What has happened to the Calypso?
Well, that is where the executive, especially through the efforts of these two gentlemen and, of course, the others, have been working to try to get the authorities to work us in so that it can be a better income earner for us.
In terms of releasing the songs?
No. What I'm saying is, remember, there's a cost to everything.
Yes.
The more the association can raise through sponsorship, through support, then we can afford to give the Calypsonians more, because when it comes to recording, you have to do that on your own. Those things are costly. So most of the problem is a lot of the guys are waiting sometimes through the tents before they make their payments, and you have to support the studios.
Agreed.
Right. So finance is a big,
the
big part of it.
The biggest part why songs cannot be released earlier is economic bomb. Economic.
In a large part.
Especially throughout the year.
Throughout the year, Californians are very
throughout the
little.
year is more or less economics, but we
economics.
but in terms of releasing the song at the time, something else is that a lot of Calypsonians don't write their own songs, yeah.
Okay, so
we have to depend on when the writers get the inspiration. Now you might be harassing a writer, but you don't have to harass the writer, because you want the writer to let this song come to him or her. So sometimes you want a song, but the song is not ready. When you do get this song, you have to learn it, and then you have to go in the studio and do it. Sometimes the studio do ready. So there's a lot of different constraints, because sometimes the same set of studios you find that working, let's say, with artists for Creole Festival, and those times it's still the Calypso. So it's still those that have to work with the Calypso.
So it's basically economic.
So basically,
because if you
it's a combination of economics, and timing.
No, but then I want the rule of timing, because when is the next, all know, so when it's 2026 Calypso. So I want the rule of timing. Hold on.
Yeah.
In Dominica, for the last few years, we have been having adequate issues. And if you work, I know writers are writers. If you possibly have an idea of what you want to sing about, you can have the basic. And the good thing about our Calypso, you can change a whole verse at any time if you want.
Yeah, or you can add a verse.
You can change and add verses. Gone are the days where you have to give the script to the judges. You can change anything, so you can have your song, and then you can upgrade it as the various issues are coming out. Yes, economic, I can deal with economic, but then I cannot deal with telling you about time management when Carnival is whenever. You have to prepare, because it is happening to consistent. Because you have to remember, I am putting myself in it. We Calypso lovers. I love playing Calypso DJ. I put all Zouk and Creole aside, and I focus it on Calypso Creole.
Calypso Pines,
right? But then it pains me when I have to go back to material from the years gone by, and I also know a young DJ. Look, he's right here, and I give you the opportunity to tell them that is old songs you have to be playing.
Okay, stick up in a bit.
He's a very conscious DJ. A very conscious DJ who actually leans on me a lot, and I love him a lot. And he plays a lot of Calypso, but guess what? A lot of the old Calypso. Now, remember, you're competing against Bouillon getting 1 million views, and it's Dominica music. So you can't tell the same young DJ not to play Bouillon music. So Calypsonians have to be better prepared. And like I say, you can add and upgrade your lyrical content. Once you have a nice melody and 2 free verses, you can add,
No, but okay, hold on, Wadix. It's easy, yes. The party Calypsos and the general stuff. But a lot of the Calypsos depend on sometimes around the timing. Sometimes you release a Calypso with issues, and you are told sometimes at the competition time that you're not relevant. No, you also have to be careful. You have to be careful.
A good Calypso.
We know what we're talking about.
Progress sang a song Progress.
Oh, that's
King
different.
Austin. King
Oh,
Austin
that's
sang.
different. That's
So that's what I'm saying. So when you tell me about old time, that song about 40 years and it's still relevant up to now. Let's take another call for the Calypso Association because I like the vibes. We need a few more hours of that kind of discussion. Good morning to you, Creole Habits. Yeah, that's why I invited you guys next week to lead up to build the momentum for the let us see how we can full the stadium, the forecourt next week. Calypso Association in the building. Good morning, Creole Habit. Hello, good morning. Okay, call it, good call back. But then you see, I like that kind of energy because I still feel that the Calypso Association is slipping on your phones or somewhere. I don't know if he's sleeping like everybody else, but you fall asleep.
No, we'll check that on board. We'll check that.
Let's go this time. Let's go this time.
24/7.
More calls for the Calypso Association. Good morning, Creole Admit. Hello, good morning, Creole Admit. Shan, make sure everything is okay, my producer, because we want to take the calls. I want to take a final call. Let's see if this one is. Good morning to you, Creole Admit.
Another problem again, are you paying big back to the government? Why you can't reduce on that VAT payment for all you? And the reason why a lot of people did not come into the Calypso final because they have to squeeze like sardine in the forecourt. If all you had an open stadium where people could sit down and view and listen to all you, I think the state should have more people because a lot of elderly people love their Calypso.
We're looking at all those possibilities.
But what
Thank you very much, caller.
What I need to address that? You see that point? You see that stadium point?
Stadium
I need
point.
to address.
Yes, let's go.
Because it is a lot more complicated than people.
We have just 2 minutes, so let's.
So I'll do it very quickly. For example, how the government system set up, it's a very funny way, right? So the DFC have to ask permission from the government. The DFC is a quasi-government here. They have to ask permission to get the stadium. So if they don't get the stadium, Calypso Association can't get it. Just think of DFC not getting the stadium. No, before time I used to think, well, like as if it was a one thing, but no. DFC have to pay government their VAT too,
Okay.
and pay them this and pay them that. And it's not like,
But
hold on a while. It's not like I dare to speak on behalf of DFC.
No.
But the thing about it is that when the question of Calypso Association putting its foot down to get the stadium, we must.
I don't believe you should ask for the VAT. I don't believe you should ask for the VAT to remove.
No,
I believe you should do. What I believe you should do.
But we realize we cannot get it.
What I believe you should do, because DFC pays VAT, what I believe you should ask for a subvention, like what takes place in a lot of the islands.
Well,
so yes, you pay a VAT, but you ask for a subvention.
Well, we already asked them not to take
Because
what we did. When we realized we cannot get the VAT because the authority tell us straight, they cannot.
So you ask for a subvention.
Yeah, but listen,
because
we
DFC,
asked them.
Hold on, let me just finish my point. DFC pays VAT, but DFC is also subsidized. They get all their income from the government to produce. They have a budget that is getting. So what you should do is possibly ask or go for the Minister of Culture or Finance or whatever to get a budgetary allowance.
What is we have done?
Or assistance.
What is we have done all that over and over again.
Okay, have you been singing Calypso over and over and you still singing? You're singing Calypso over and over and you're singing this.
But what is the last thing we try? The last thing we try is to
60 seconds.
Yeah, is to tell the authorities we know all the category VAT based on how it is set up. So what we can do, turn it around, give us the VAT money to do things. So let's say develop. Okay, so
Develop
for example, we can say, well, use the VAT money to, let's say, record 10 songs or 15 songs during the course of the year. So it is coming from the government coffers, but not in the way of VAT, but in the way of support. You understand? Because they cannot just take on the VAT. So let me tell you.
Look at the lines. Look at the lines. But guys, let's look at it and let's see if we can come earlier so we can continue to discuss. Because, like you say, you can see it's the people's business here. They see the red line.
Calypso is the people's
business.
And
I want to agree for you.
That's why I continue to tell the Dominican public. Calypso is not Calypso. We are just the custodians. We are just the people that the small group of people who are there every year to ensure that the Calypso come alive.
Stop slipping. I was supposed to be here. I was supposed to be hearing a lot of noise by no Calypso in the World Creole Music Festival for the last 4 years. And who's supposed to spear that? The president and the rest of the executive. And then the rest of the people, especially those listening to Q95, will support. But what happened? The Calypso Association went moo. They brushed them for 2 years.
We will respond to that next week.
Next week. We meet next week. It was a pleasure, Daryl Bob, King Bob. The eliminations next week Saturday. The Calypso Association again will be here next week Friday to answer all the questions. From the word go, we answer questions because you can see the lines are going. But the news major comes up in the next 120 seconds. Leroy Waddings Charles, on behalf of Digicel, bidding you a pleasant weekend and may God bless you and Happy New Year to every single one listening to the voice of the big station Q95 FM.
Yes, man, Waddings.
Yes, sir. Bakay Malan, Prince Waddings.